What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Just want to remind you guys once again that I have a Rumble, and previously I have been uploading content that I didn't feel comfortable uploading on YouTube on my Patreon, but Clutch made sure that I was kicked off of Patreon. Patreon supports, their movement to push me off that site. So I'm pretty much essentially banned from being on the Patreon. The good news about Rumble, though, is that it's free. So you don't have to pay a fee or anything like that. And I just can talk about stuff over there on Rumble the way that I want to, and I can talk about more topics over on Rumble. So salute to the over 800 now that have followed me over there now. I want to get that to over 1,000 before April 1st. That's my goal. And we'll see if I can do that. So I will be uploading on Rumble. I thought I would upload another one last night. I got a little tired. But I will upload a video or two today on Rumble. So salute to you guys for supporting me over there. So let's talk about this, man. So, in the news recently, we've heard a lot about ICE, right? And we've heard about, various people like, what's the guy's name? The nurse, I think his name was Alex Preddy. And we've heard about Renee Nicole Good, right? And they were in the news a lot, okay? To the point where there were conversations like, why aren't we, talking about black people, getting involved and protesting alongside with them? And, a lot of us made videos saying that what it is the optics for them looks better when black people getting their heads cracked in and cracked open by police than them. Plus, they would rather sacrifice our, in their eyes, less meaningful lives than their own. And it looks good for the cameras. It looks good for the Democratic Party to see their niggers getting their heads beat in and bashed in, and they can cash in the polls this upcoming fall. I mean, it's all a ploy. That's what the plan is, you know what I'm saying? Then you had that plant, that so-called Black Panther plant named Paul Birdsong, the leader of the Philadelphia chapter of the so-called Black Panther Party. Now, after they call themselves the Lion Party or some shit, he's leading the charge. And don't get me wrong, I don't like what ICE is doing to American citizens. But we got to be careful in how we move. We got to be more strategic in how we move, because there's a lot of plants out there. There are a lot of agents, double agents, and there's always an agenda when they want us to help others. So this is another situation where nobody's here to talk about when one of us get our heads cracked in or shot open, or when we get eliminated by ICE or somehow involved with ICE. That's what I'm talking about here. So this woman right here, her name is Linda Davis. And she was a special education teacher. In her first year at Herman W. Hess K through 8 school in Savannah, Georgia. Well, she was killed this past Monday morning on her way to school. The driver of the hit and run was a man named Oscar Vasquez Lopez. All right. And that's the gentleman that you see right. Give me 1 second here. That's the gentleman that you see right here. Okay. Not a great picture, but most of the news media outlets are just calling him an immigrant, right? And they're throwing the blame of the whole situation with Linda Davis on ICE. Now, I'm not saying ICE don't deserve some of the blame. They do. But what they aren't telling you about this guy is that he's an illegal immigrant who has a criminal past. And that ICE was trying to apprehend him when his car hit Linda Davis, the immigrant. But that's what they're omitting from the headlines. And that's the bullshit I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about when I say there's a liberal agenda to protect illegal immigrants over us. Because most of the media in this country, 85% of the media is liberal. And they have an adherence and they will follow whatever the agenda is of the party that they identify with, which is usually the Democratic Party. And we are not at the top of their agenda. We are expendable. We will always be expendable. The only importance that we have to them are votes. And they think they can do anything. They don't think they really have anything to get our votes. They think that they're entitled to our votes. And if we don't vote for them, if we show free will and we resist their demands, we vote for them, they don't sit down at the table and talk to us like they do with Hispanics and everybody else. They say, okay, fine, niggers. We'll just find some way to dilute you and punish you for not doing what we tell you to do. They just like this other slave master. They have a nice, they put on a nice facade. Their disposition is a little bit nicer. But if you still defy them, you'll see the nastiness come out of them. They're the same. The same two fangs on the same snake. Just one tooth is rotten and the other tooth is a little bit better, but they're both dangerous and both, are malicious in nature. So it's back to Linda Davis. And interesting that we know about nationally Alex Pretty and Renee Nicole Good, but we don't hear about Linda Davis. And we haven't heard much about Keith Porter Jr. He was killed by ICE. New Year's Day. Don't hear much about him. Wonder why. There's a pattern here. Who is there when one of us are taken out by ICE? Do they come and protest on our behalf? No, we're always alone. Always. Now, there are exceptions. There are some strong Latino brothers and sisters that stand with us, but they're the minority. The vast majority of others, white liberals too, where are they? Where are they? And then look, those of you who are younger thinking, True Ross sounds like a Republican. Fuck no, I'm not a Republican. I'm just tired of both parties' bullshit. We see the same shit over and over and over again to the point where you see a pattern over the years. Quite frankly, the Democrats act like to us, that bum-ass relative that only comes around when he wants something. But then when you want something from him, he's nowhere to be found. Now, after a while, you get really tired of that type of behavior, don't you? That's how they look to me. At least from my perspective. Where's justice for this woman? Last I checked, the legal immigrant is not even being charged for her death. I think the charges have been dropped, if I'm not mistaken. How does that work? They're protecting this motherfucker. That's why. Just like how all these illegals, these millions of illegals were brought into this country. They're still in this country. Many of them acquired illegal citizenship. They got all these freebies by the prior administration to curry favor for them so they can get their votes in exchange. And you wonder why I say, fuck the Democrats, fuck the Republicans. I don't adhere to either party. You can do what you want to do. I know the history of both parties. And both parties have blood on their hands when it comes to us African Americans. They've screwed us over. Racism is the legacy of both parties. Period. We're on our own. Woman life snuffed out, and where's the national attention? That's all I'm asking. His life, Keith Porter Jr., snuffed out. Why not the same national attention that the Minneapolis folks got? Where are you guys at standing with us? Left in the cold, left in the dark every time. Anyway, that's all I got to say about it. Tell me what you guys think.